Good morning, good people. It's your man, Investing with Cam. I hadn't posted any recordings in the past week or so, and so I just wanted to come on here with an update on my favorite ETF, which is AIPI, and which I know the few people that are following me and that watches my videos are interested in AIPI as well. And so as you can see here on the screen, I'm on the NASDAQ composite. And the reason why I'm here is because AIPI follows the NASDAQ for the most part. And I say for the most part because if the NASDAQ is going up, AIPI is going to go up as well, and vice versa. If the NASDAQ is going down, then AIPI is going to go down. But as we can see, as of Friday, the NASDAQ finished up almost 217 points on Friday, in which the market is going to open here pretty soon. And so we'll see how it's going to do this week. But I also want to go to the 5-day forecast, or past, I should say 5 days, to where you can see that the NASDAQ finished up 100 or 1,000 or 1,330 points is what it finished up within the last 5 days. And I'm only saying that because if the NASDAQ can continue this upward trend, then the losses that we've all seen the NASDAQ take over these past few months or since the beginning of the year, all of those losses will be regained, and possibly we can start seeing some more all-time highs. And so, sorry about that. I want to go to the year to date to where we can see that year to date, the NASDAQ is down. I keep doing down almost 1,900 points year to date, which is not a good thing whatsoever. But like I say, in the past 5 days, we can see that the NASDAQ has been up over 1,300 points. So if it could do that again this week, then literally the NASDAQ will only be down a little over 500 points, or possibly could finish up 1,900 points this week, and we recoup all of those losses. But also, I want to go over here to AIPI and show you guys how AIPI has been doing over the last 5 days as well. As we can see that the NASDAQ has been doing pretty good. So let's go here. As we can see, and this is the pre-market. AIPI actually finished on Friday at about $39.77 on Friday, which it was still up for the day and actually up for the week as well. And so as we can see here, over the past week, AIPI is up $2.57, which is pretty good if you ask me, to where if we look here as far as the lows that it had been at, let's see, 1 week, it was as low as $36.81 last week. And so anybody that was able to buy in at that $36.80 price point, and depending on the amount of shares they were able to purchase, they're up a significant amount of money. And like I say, it finished as far as AIPI on Friday up $39.77. So even in the pre-market right now, as we can see, it's up $22, almost 23 cents in pre-market, in which we can't necessarily go off pre-market. Once the market opens, the price could go back down. But at the same time, I truly feel that AIPI is a great investment for people that are trying to receive monthly income, in a considerable amount of monthly income. And anybody that's been watching and paying attention, my last couple of videos, I only had about 3 shares of AIPI, and now I have 40 shares. So I've been purchasing shares over the past week or so as well, trying to build my position in AIPI to where I want to have at least 250 shares, and I feel comfortable at that point not investing any more money into AIPI unless, I just feel the need to. But at 250 shares, if I just sit on that, let that distribution go back into buying more shares of AIPI, literally in a matter of 10 years, I would have almost $90,000 in distributions every year. And of course, that all depends on whether or not AIPI continues to pay out the distribution amounts that it has been paying out and things like that. But if it does continue to pay out these high distributions, in which I feel that it would at least pay out $1, even in the long run, every month per share, even if it's not $1.35, that's still really good income to have and be able to just sit on that investment until one feels comfortable enough to start taking those distributions out in order to pay for their bills and things of that nature. But like I say, I went from 3 shares to 40 shares, as you can see here on my screen. And speaking of distributions, AIPI just paid out its distribution for the month of April on the 24th, in which that distribution amount was $1.10 per share. And it is about 25 to, I'll say 35 cents less than what it had been paying out. But we know as well that the market has been down this year for the most part. And so as we can see, the increasing of the share amount right now, or share cost or share price, I feel that AIPI will go back up as far as the distribution amounts that it's paying out. But even at $1.10, if I was able to get $1.10 consistently, I would be satisfied with that with my 250 shares. Because like I say, in the long run, I'm not having to invest anything else. And it's almost, in a sense, free money that I would be receiving. And just let that snowball, and that snowball just gets bigger and bigger to the point where you're making enough money to where you don't have to necessarily work a full-time job or even work at all, and be able to do other things that you would rather be doing other than punching the time clock. But like I said, I got paid out that distribution, and the total amount of that distribution was $32.91 because I had 29.85 shares. And as you can see, it reinvested that $32.91 to where I got 0.83 of a share. And so this is my plan with AIPI. And don't get me wrong, I want to invest in other stocks, I should say, in opposed to ETFs, but other stocks, maybe NVIDIA or Chevron, the more stable companies, to where I'll have this monthly income. And if anybody's familiar with Chevron, even though the cost per share is pretty high, but it also pays out a quarterly dividend. And so I'm going to build up, like I say, my position in AIPI first, and then start investing in other more long-term, or that has been around longer, I should say, stocks, and stocks that pay dividends as well, in which NVIDIA doesn't pay a large dividend whatsoever. But anybody that's been watching NVIDIA knows that the amount of price increase that it potentially has is greater than like a Chevron. So don't get me wrong, in order to really see any type of profit, you would have to sell your shares of NVIDIA, in which I don't want to really sell shares in order to make my money monthly or weekly like some people do. I'd rather just have them pay me out in dividends and make my money that way. But like I said, I just want to come back on here and give a little update on AIPI and show you guys just how well it's been doing, or that it's doing, and that it is increasing in share price. And I hope you guys like and subscribe to my channel, and like my videos, and don't hesitate to comment on my videos and share my videos. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and let's make some money investing. I'll talk to you guys soon.